I'm just having issues. Okay. No, wrong. Okay. That's better. Greetings and good evening, everyone. Forgive me for my tardy broadcast, and that is exactly what we are going to be discussing. Hey, Dr. Candris. Today on Mindset Monday with Dr. Michelle. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast. Make sure that you share with your followers, share with your friends. Okay, I think I can set that just like that. All right. So in case this is the first time you are joining me on the broadcast, let me introduce myself. I am, yes, that's right, Mindset Monday. I am Dr. Michelle Clay. I am speaker, author, and holistic physician who specializes in the release of stress simply and naturally. Through my coaching programs, I specifically help you, the one that is the burned out, overwhelmed, anxious, stressed out professional, the tense muscles in your neck, the headaches that come, all of that. I specifically help you through my coaching programs find your happy, healthy, harmonized place so that you can live a free life on purpose and with passion. Thank you so much. All right, now, thank you so much for the hearts. I so appreciate you. Let's see. We have Faco111 join. Thank you for coming to the broadcast. So let's go ahead and get started. So today on Mindset Monday, how much are your classes? They're coaching programs. So it's either group coaching or one-on-one coaching. Okay, and so my website, which is in the description box, freelife7le.com, where you can find more information and to download my gift to you to get started on your stress-free journey. 10 minutes to tranquility. Thank you, Dr. Candris, for putting the website in the chat box, and thank you so much for the hearts. So the reason I am tardy today is because I just left the doctor's office. Thank you, Dr. Candris. 10 minutes to tranquility. That is my gift to you. It is an audiobook. And Dr. Candris is on. She's a physician. So you know that no matter how hard you try to stay on schedule because you want to honor your patient's time. But you also want to honor your patient's concerns and their questions because they come to the physician. If you're not a physician, if you've just been a patient or have had family members who are patients, you know how physician heal thyself. Glad you went to doctor today. Yes, I'm trying to stay on it. I'm my own doctor, but you need to build a team. I talked about that last week. But physicians also want their patients to be honored and get answers to their questions. How many of you on this broadcast, when you have gone to the doctor or you have taken a family member to the doctor, it's so loud, I had to stop on the street and turn my climate on, and you felt that you left with questions, that your physician just rushed you out of the office and you didn't feel like you were heard, that you were cared for. Okay? Now, Dr. Candris, she's America's favorite and flawless dermatologist. She is triple board certified. So I know that when her patients come to see her, they absolutely love her, probably more than I do. Okay, so I know that she wants to address all of their questions and concerns, and they feel better when they leave than when they arrived. But when a physician, I know they love you, Dr. Candris, but when you have a caring, compassionate, and thorough physician like that, they are going to get off a schedule. So that's why it got me to thinking, what do I need to talk about today? On Mindset Monday, having a patient mindset. Okay? And you don't just need to have a patient mindset when you're going to the doctor. You have to have a patient's mindset just going through life, because nothing ever goes exactly as planned, or nothing ever goes your way or always when you want it to happen. So I'm going to give you 5 things about having a patient mindset. First of all, let's talk about yes, so true. Let's talk about what the formal definition of patience is. The formal definition is the capacity to accept, tolerate, and delay suffering without getting upset and anger. Now, here's the thing. When you talk about accepting, I am not suggesting that you accept bad, poor behavior or disrespect. What I am suggesting is that you accept where you are. So that brings us to tip number 1 for developing a mindset of patience. Understand that it is a skill. Okay? And it is not something that always comes easily. And it is not something that comes immediately or overnight. Just like for those of you who know how to roller skate, when you first got on roller skates or roller blades, thank you so much, Dr. Candris, for putting the website in the chat box. The first time you got on your bicycle, you fell down a few times. But after a while, when you kept practicing, then you got the hang of it. And now that you know how to do it, a whole decade can go by before you ever get on roller skates or a bicycle. But the memory of it always returns and returns quickly. So understand that is the same thing with patience. It is a skill and it takes practice. So to practice developing a patient mindset, what you can do is know that what the things are that trigger you, and take very small, bite-sized pieces, just one little baby step at a time. Let's say, for instance, here's one. When a mosquito bites you, okay, of course, it is so annoying and you want to scratch it. But let's say you start with that and you don't scratch it. That can be one small step before you go into Armageddon. That can happen in life, where all kind of chaos erupts and you don't have the patience for it. Okay, but just think about it. Don't scratch a mosquito bite. That can be something that you can start with. Just start with a very small baby step. When you think about it, when you scratch a mosquito bite, is it really healing? Does it change anything? No, it doesn't. So that brings me to tip number 2 in developing a patient mindset. And that is identify. You have to identify what it is or who it is that triggers you, that gets you to the place where you're stressed out, you feel angry, you feel irritable, you feel annoyed. So identify what it is, your source. And then tip number 3 is being mindful. Once you have identified what triggers you, then be mindful of where you are and how you feel. Does it conjure up memories? What kind of physical symptoms are you feeling? What kind of emotions are you feeling? Sometimes when we are really mindful of what we're feeling, then we can get to the why we are feeling or why we are experiencing. And when you do that, then you have a 1-up on your healing journey, because you're able to get to the root of the problem. If you are extremely impatient and you are lashing out at people, and they may have done just one little thing, it wasn't the end of the world, but really what triggered you was what they did was familiar. It triggered a past memory from the original source of what hurt you, what angered you, when you felt disrespected. Okay, so be mindful. All right. And when you're mindful about your feelings, how you feel in the moment, what you are experiencing in the moment, both physically and emotionally, and certain memories, then this goes along with the law of resistance. Sometimes it may be a message of what it is that you need to adjust. Now, for those of you that know about the law of attraction, love the law of attraction, okay? I even do a law of attraction meditation. Phenomenal, very powerful. But the law of attraction is only, fix that a little bit, is only one of the 12 laws. Another one of the laws is the law of resistance, which states that what you resist persist. So if there are things that are conjured up in you repeatedly, then they may be a message or a reminder of something that you need to heal, something that you need to adjust, something that you need to shift, or maybe something that you need to release. And you constantly experience these feelings over and over because you perhaps are resisting the very thing that you need to release for your healing. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And that leads us to point number 4, which is shift your mindset. Now, a lot of times, what I mean by shift the mindset, let me explain. A lot of times when we're impatient with people or impatient with things, then we look outside of ourselves for what they did to me, what they didn't do to me, what happened to me, or what didn't happen to me. These people are driving crazy, whatever, whatever the case may be. You're looking outside of yourself for the source of your irritation, anger, your stress, your anxiety, okay? But instead of doing that, shift your mindset. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the broadcast. Shift your mindset so that you begin to look at you, not just the external stimulus, but what is it in you? What can you do to decrease the stress and the anxiety from that situation? What can you do to respond differently? Now, I love responses, but responding is a defensive mechanism. I prefer to be on the offensive. So how can you shift your mindset to not just blame everything on the external stimuli, but the internal stimuli? And you shift your perception from not what is happening to me, but how am I dealing with it? How am I responding to this stimulus? How can I change and do it differently so that it moves me closer to my purpose, that it elevates me in mind and body, that it gets me one step closer to my goals and intentions and my success? And then finally, number 5 is break the habit. Now, habits are an interesting thing. Sometimes it's difficult to break a habit, but instead to replace a habit. But by going through the previous 4 steps, number 1, understanding that patience is a skill. Number 2, identify the triggers for impatience. What stresses you? What causes you anger? What causes you anxiety or irritation? And number 3, being mindful of, once you have identified, being mindful of what is happening inside of you. Okay, what is happening inside of you, both emotionally, both physically? Does it conjure up memories, okay, that you haven't dealt with, that you need to pull that root up so that that thorny weed doesn't grow again? And shifting your mindset, your perception, what you did to me, instead of how do I feel? How do I respond? That is how you can break a habit of impatience, leading to anger, leading to annoyance, leading to irritability, leading to that stress and chronic anxiety. So we can talk more in the future about not just breaking habits, but how to modify your behavior. How to modify behavior in such a way that you actually up-level your lifestyle. You up-level your quality of life. You up-level the abundance in your life. You up-level your vision of your life, and therefore fulfilling your purpose and having true, complete wellness success. So once again, to take baby steps on this journey, I have put my website in the description box, www.freelife7le.com, where I give to you my gift. It is a complimentary audiobook, 10 Minutes to Tranquility. Maybe your baby step is one of the things that I describe in this audiobook to get you to patience, to get you to a mindset of patience. So once again, that is www.freelife7le.com. So until next time, which will be Wednesday, same time, same place for Wednesday's Wellness Wisdom Pearl with Dr. Michelle Clay. I challenge you this evening or within the next 2 days until we meet again on Wednesday to try just one of these steps to developing a patience mindset. Try the next time that you are triggered how to heal anxiety. No, I'm not saying how to heal anxiety unless that's a question. Okay, so let me address your comment and your question. Stress and anxiety are two different things, okay? Anxiety is a condition that is listed in the DSM-5. The DSM-5 is a huge diagnostic book which has every type of psychiatric illness or disorder or symptomology of for mental health, okay? So stress is both an emotional thing, but it is also, most importantly, a physiological process where there are hormones that you already have in your body and the levels may increase, which leads to an increase in cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone. So what happens with chronic stress and these changes in the levels of hormones is that it also affects different areas of your brain. One area of the brain that chronic stress affects is what's known as the fear center. Okay, it actually increases the activity in the fear center of your brain, which leads to anxiety. So, with chronic stress, it can lead to anxiety. Now, there are different forms of anxiety. For instance, there can just be generalized anxiety. There can be anxiety affiliated with panic attacks. And so if you're having like panic attacks, then I would say definitely see a licensed professional, whether that's a licensed professional counselor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a therapist, to deal with that. But with most mental and psychiatric disorders, then abnormalities in the levels of what we call neurochemicals and or hormones ensue. So some of the tips that I provide in the 10 Minutes to Tranquility audiobook give you simple and natural tips and strategies to help release stress, because what we're actually doing is we're helping to mitigate the high cortisol levels. Okay, so everything goes hand in hand. If this is your first time joining me, and thank you so much for leaving that comment and asking that question. If this is the first time that you're joining me, then you know I talk about wellness from the perspective of experiencing 360 degrees of wellness. And wellness is not just health. I come from the perspective that wellness has 7 dimensions. And when these 7 dimensions are in harmony, then you can experience wellness success and 360 degrees of wellness. And those 7 dimensions are, of course, physical, emotional, social, spiritual, intellectual, environmental, and occupational. Okay, so I hope that addresses your comment and that answers your question. And if no one else thought to ask that, I hope that was informative and it was of value to you. So I challenge you, just take one little baby step in developing the skill, exercising that muscle, that skill of having patience and developing a mindset of patience. So until next time, I am Dr. Michelle Clay. I am speaker, author. I am holistic physician who specializes in the release of stress simply and naturally. Through my coaching programs, I specifically help those, maybe you're one, that professional that's overwhelmed, that's burned out, has lost their mental clarity and focus, that's just stressed out intense. Find your happy, healthy, and place of harmony so that you can live a free life on purpose and with passion. So until next time, which will be Wednesday for Wednesday's Wellness Wisdom Pearl with Dr. Michelle Clay, have a beautiful evening, be well, and do something well for yourself. Bye-bye.